Hello students, welcome back. Myself Pushpendra Singh and we are going to start with our geography. Okay. So today you will have the geography related classes. So those students who are preparing for the civil services examination and other government competitive examination, you can subscribe our channel on the YouTube, which we have the channel called Future IAS, where you will get the daily basis the lectures on the NCERT based, where you can enhance your preparation, you can build your foundation related to the general studies, and certain questions related to the general studies are also asked in other state services examination also. So you can always refer our channel, and here we will be covering the general studies syllabus based on the NCERT pattern. Okay, so you can boost your foundational value, foundational knowledge related to these topics. All right, so let's begin with the lecture. All right, so we were basically studying about hot weather season. So what we have studied in our last class related to the hot weather season, that the hot weather season basically started in the month of, say in the month of in the month of March, April and May. Okay, so these are basically corresponding to the season, hot weather season. And in that hot weather season, what happens is the dust storms are very normal. Okay, the temperature soars to almost 50 degrees Celsius in almost all parts of the northern India except the peninsular region, because in the peninsular region you have the moderating influence of the ocean. So because of the moderating influence, the temperature do not reaches to 50 degrees Celsius, but it remains almost the 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. For example, if you visit Chennai, Chennai is basically a coastal city where the temperature remains 20 to 25 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Okay, on an average temperature I'm talking about. But there is no such the daily range of temperature, high daily range of temperature variations. There are no such the high annual ranges of the temperature in the coastal areas. But in the interior part of the Indian landmass, as well as during the hot weather season, the northern India faces very high extreme range of the temperature. Okay, that is because of your apparent movement of the sun. The apparent movement of the sun basically started moving towards the Tropic of Cancer, which makes the northern hemisphere more warmer comparative to the southern hemisphere. Okay, now let's understand about the features of the hot weather season. The temperature of the northern part of India goes up and the atmospheric pressure comes down. So I have given you the relationship between the temperature and the pressure. Whenever you have the temperature, high temperature, you will have the low pressure, and whenever you have the low temperature, you will have corresponding high pressure, isn't it? So that the relationship between the temperature and the pressure is inversely proportional. High temperature, low pressure; low temperature, high pressure. All right, so this is what is something due to be understand, that during the hot weather season, when the temperature goes up, the pressure is automatically comes down. All right, next, the summer months experience the rising temperature and the falling air pressure. So that is what is quietly happening, that the normally months experience the rising temperature to the exceeding of up to 50 degrees Celsius in certain districts of Rajasthan. For example, Jaisalmer, Badmer, Jodhpur, the temperature reaches to 54 degrees Celsius also. All right, and towards the end of the May, an elongated low pressure area develops, extending from Thar Desert in the northwestern part of Rajasthan to Patna up to the Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east and southeast direction. So what happens is this elongated low pressure, which is basically generated from the Thar deserts up to the basically Chota Nagpur Plateau, right? What happens is this extended low pressure zone attracts the winds which are basically flowing from southern hemisphere. I've shown you in my last class the diagram, so you can understand with that diagram that if I draw the diagram, you can understand. This is the diagram I'm just making you to understand. Okay, this is equator, so this is 0 degree latitude. Now what happens is India is located in the northern hemisphere. That means India is located to the north part of the northern side of equator. That means India is located, if you divide the earth into 4 quadrants, so India is basically located here. Okay, India is basically located over there in the northern hemisphere, and the equator basically lies to the south of India. Okay, now what happens is these winds, when they cross the equator, they converted, or they basically have the orientation towards the southwestern direction, because it is because of the Coriolis force. The Coriolis force is basically a virtual force which deflects any moving object in the northern hemisphere to their right or in the clockwise direction, and any moving object in the southern hemisphere to the left or anti-clockwise in the southern hemisphere, isn't it? So it is because of the Coriolis force the winds basically converted into the southwest directional wind, and that causes the rainfall as a southwest monsoonal rainfall. Okay, now the results into beginning of air circulation around this trough, right? This air circulation started moving up and building up, and that basically invite the rainstorms also to come, right? The elongated low pressure also attract the dry winds. These dry winds are very gusty, they are very hot also. Okay, for example, if you visit in the Rajasthan region, in the Uttar Pradesh region, some part of Madhya Pradesh and some part of Maharashtra also, what happens is a gusty hot winds used to blow during basically in the afternoon time, and they continued even up to the evening and up to the night also. So these gusty hot dry winds are called lu. They are called lu, and they are mostly located in the northern part of India and northwestern part of India. Okay, and it can be fatal also if you are exposed to, right, very it can be fatal also. Okay, now the dust storms are very common during this hot weather season. Why the dust storms used to come? The dust storms used to come because of convectional currents. These convectional currents are arising due to very high temperature, right, at the localized level, and that causes the sudden rising of these convectional currents, and that basically cause the dust storms to form over there. But you must understand, the dust storms bring so much respite from very high scorching heat, specifically in the northern part of India and the northwestern part of India. So the dust storms basically is laden with the dust, but it is definitely, lowers the temperature, right, brings a relief to the person and causes the slight rainfall also, and that gives a respite from the scorching sun heat also. All right, now these localized thunderstorms that accompanied with these dust storms, all right, comes normally during hot weather season, and these thunderstorms are having very high speed winds. You would have seen also in your village time, right, during your childhood, that whenever you visit in your village during the hot weather season, right, what happens is, hot weather season means in the month of March, April and May, what would happen, you would have seen the thunderstorms, that is very high winds, dry winds, sometimes dust laden winds, and also sometimes these winds also cause the rainfall also, right? Hailstorms also will be there along with these winds, so that causes much respite from the scorching heat. Okay, these thunderstorms, they are basically bringing the respite from the scorching heat. They are called Vaisakhi, or they are called Kal Vaisakhi. So Kal Vaisakhis are those thunderstorms which occur during the hot weather season, specifically in the West Bengal region, Okay, and the near of the ending of this hot weather season, you have the pre-monsoon showers, right? These pre-monsoon showers are known by different names. For example, they are known as the mango showers in the Kerala and Karnataka. Why they are called mango showers? Because they help in the ripening of the mangoes which are grown in the Kerala and the Karnataka region. Okay, so that is why they are known as pre-monsoonal showers, and they are known by different names. For example, mango showers also is one such example of such thunderstorms. All right, now let's understand about the temperature variations during hot weather season. How is the temperature variations during hot weather season? So first of all, as I told you that you have the basically belt or heat belt. Okay, so first of all, you must understand that you have, because of the heat belt, there is a changes in the temperature. For example, in the equatorial low will have very high temperature but very low pressure, isn't it? But if you move to the subtropical high pressure belt, okay, if I draw the diagram, you would be probably understand. Okay, so this is the diagram. So if you see here, this is the region where you have the equatorial low. I have already drawn this diagram in my previous class. So this is called equatorial low. So I would just denote by the low pressure, Okay, if you move a slightly in the northern direction, nearby Tropic of Cancer, if you move to the southern hemisphere, nearby to the Tropic of Capricorn, you have the subtropical high pressure belt. So you denote it by high pressure. So you denote it by high pressure also. Okay, if you move a little bit earlier, little bit further, you will have low pressure, and then at the polar region you will have high pressure. So you will have alternative high pressure, low pressure, high pressure and low pressure, and this causes the changes in the heat also, the changes in the temperature also. Okay, now what happens is with the latitude there is a changes in the temperature, right? You have seen here at the equatorial region very high temperature. Okay, then if you move to the tropic of Cancer, again high temperature, but it is comparatively because of the subsidence of the basically winds that causes the high pressure zone, so it is because of the subsidence of the air from the tropospheric level. Okay, so it is basically the dynamically created high pressure zone, but the equatorial low pressure zone is basically thermally created. It is because of the temperature. Now in the month of March, the highest temperature is recorded around 38 degrees Celsius, especially in the Deccan Plateau. That is the highest temperature. Okay, if you visit in the Gujarat region, if you visit in the Madhya Pradesh region, this temperature reaches to 42 degrees Celsius, right? So that is how it is changes with the latitude. Okay, if you see the Deccan Plateau, that is basically in the subtropical belt, Okay, and right, it's basically tropical belt. If you go beyond to the Gujarat and the Madhya Pradesh, you are basically reaching to the tropical belt, isn't it? Now in this tropical belt you will have the temperature a bit higher. Okay, and if you move further up to the Rajasthan level, you will have the temperature of 45 degrees Celsius. So that is what I was explaining through this diagram, that with the latitude there is also a changes of the temperature. With the changes of the temperature, and you must understand, the sun never crossed tropic of Cancer. Sun never crossed tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere, and sun never crossed tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. Okay, now this apparent movement of the sun is between the tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere and between the tropic of Capricorn. So the sun will oscillate, or sun will apparently move from tropic of Capricorn to tropic of Cancer, from tropic of Cancer to the tropic of Capricorn. Okay, now if you visit in the deeper part of peninsula, for example in the coastal regions, what you will find, you will find the moderating influence. That means the temperature remains more or less same. So this moderating influence of the ocean remains, causes the temperature around 25 degrees Celsius, right? The average temperature remains 25 degrees Celsius in the all coastal regions. Wherever you go in the all coastal regions, the temperature remains 20 to 25 degrees Celsius only on an average. And the very high extreme range of daily range of temperature, daily, or that is called diurnal range of temperature. Diurnal means matlab hota hai the temperature you record during the daytime and temperature you record during the night time. So that is called daily range of temperature. Daily temperature kitna rise kar raha hai. For example, if you visit in the desert region, the daily temperature range is very high. For example, in the Badmer region of the Rajasthan, the day temperature reaches during the summer is around 52 degrees Celsius, and the night temperature reaches to 15 degrees, just 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, so daily range of temperature is very high, right? Even annual range of temperature in the desert region is also very high. But if you see the coastal belt, in the coastal region, the daily range of temperature is very insignificant, and annual range of temperature is also very insignificant. Okay, so these are the variations of the daily range of temperature and annual range of temperature. Okay, now let's understand about advancing monsoon or the rainy season. Okay, so this is what we are going to study here. So here you must understand what happens is, as I told you, that during the hot weather season, a elongated low pressure zone is created. Okay, this low pressure zone is created specifically in the northwestern part of Indian peninsula. Okay, now this low pressure area extended up to the northern plains also. Okay, and this low pressure area is basically intensified, right, specifically in the month of May and the June, and that attract the rain bearing winds from the southern hemisphere to reach up to the northern hemisphere by crossing the equator. And they basically, as a southeastern trade winds, when they cross the equator, they converted into the southwestern monsoonal winds that I've explained you in my last class, that when the southeastern trade winds crosses the equator, they converted into the southwestern trade winds because they are deflected by the Coriolis force. The Coriolis force is a virtual force that is generated because of the rotation of the earth on its axis. So अर्थ के रोटेशन की वजह से कोरियोलिस फोर्स डेवलप होता है, ठीक है. दैट कोरियोलिस फोर्स डिफ्लेक्ट एनी मूविंग बॉडी. वो मूविंग बॉडी आपकी सैटेलाइट भी हो सकती है. दैट मूविंग बॉडी मे बी योर विंड, दैट मूविंग बॉडी मे बी योर ओशन करंट्स, anything, any projectile if you just send on the upper in the atmosphere or on the surface, that will be deflected to the clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and in the anti-clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere, and that is because of the Coriolis force. All right. Now these trade winds which basically originate over the warm tropical ocean in the southern hemisphere. So I was talking, I will show you the diagram, right? But you must understand this warm tropical ocean in the southern hemisphere basically in the form of the southeastern trade winds. The southeastern trade winds. Now these southeastern trade winds basically crosses the equator and they converted into the southwestern trade winds. So for example, if I draw the diagram, you would probably understand how this thing happens. So if I draw the diagram here, so for example, I'm just making the India's diagram very quickly. Okay, so this is the India's diagram. I'm just making a rough sketch. Okay, now let's understand this is the India's diagram and this is equator. This is the equator. Okay, now this is 0 degree latitude. So I was talking about that these winds used to come this way. Okay, these are the rain bearing winds. They are coming basically in the southeastern direction. So they are called the southeast trade winds. Southeast trade winds, they used to come from the southeastern direction. Okay, now this is equator. So once they cross the equator, what happens is they are deflected to their right or in the clockwise direction. So what happens is the same southeastern trade winds deflected to their right and converted into the southwestern trade winds. So they converted into the southwestern trade winds. Okay, like that. And this causes the rainfall over the tip of Indian Peninsula at the tip of Kerala around 1st of June every year. So the onset of the monsoon or the burst of the monsoon, right, at the Indian landmass occurs at the tip of Indian Peninsula at the Kerala at the 1st of June of every year. So this is the tentative date of our monsoonal winds that occurs due to the southwestern monsoon. Okay, so every year 1st of June is the tentative date for the monsoon to occur on the Indian landmass, and they are basically in the form of southwestern trade winds, and they deflected to their right due to the Coriolis force, and they are basically actually the southeastern trade winds coming from the southern hemisphere from the warm tropical ocean. Okay, I will show you this diagram in the next couple of slides. Okay, then after crossing the equator, these winds blow in the southwestern direction. Okay, and causes the basically rainfall as a southwestern monsoonal winds. And what happens is they cover almost all part of Indian landmass, okay, just over a month. So in the 1 month, the rainfalling winds or the rain bearing winds basically engulf the whole Indian Peninsula, right, in the rain. Oh, all right. So here if you see the spatial distribution of the rainfall, spatial का मतलब होता है, right, spatial distribution, spatial मतलब with space का मतलब with distance. Okay, that is called spatial distribution of the rainfall. तो distance के साथ rainfall का variation कैसे होता है, that we have to understand. So here the maximum rainfall occurs, right. So here एक चीज और आपको समझनी है कि जो साउथ वेस्टर्न मानसूनल विंड्स होती हैं, if I draw the diagram, that this is basically a peninsula. Okay, now this is the tip of the peninsula, and what happens is these winds used to come and affect the Indian landmass over there as a southwestern monsoonal winds. So these are southwestern monsoonal winds, isn't it? They are called the southwestern monsoonal winds. Okay, now what happens is when the winds occur, right, they basically bifurcated into two branches. The first branch is known as the Arabian Sea branch. The Arabian Sea branch, the Arabian Sea branch of the southwestern monsoon. The second branch is known as the Bay of Bengal branch of the southwestern monsoon. Now you have to differentiate between these two branches. Okay, when you say the northeastern part of India got the rainfall from the Bay of Bengal branch of southwestern monsoon, but the northwestern part of India receives the rainfall mainly from the basically both branches, Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal branch. Okay, so and Western Ghats receive the rainfall from the Arabian Sea branch of basically the southwestern monsoon. Okay, and the Coromandel coast received the rainfall from the retreating monsoon that we have explained in our last class. So here, if you see in the Meghalaya region, in the Assam region, for example, specifically the Cherrapunji and Mawsyn Ram, these are the two places which are known as the wettest place on the earth, which receives more than 1,000 centimeters of the rainfall every year, more than 1,000 centimeters of the rainfall. But if you visit in the Rajasthan, for example, Badmer region, hardly 10 centimeters of the rainfall, hardly 10 centimeters. Okay, but in the Mawsyn Ram region, in the Cherrapunji region, the rainfall is more than 1,000 centimeters of the rainfall occur. Okay, and the highest amount of rainfall also occurred on the windward side of Western Ghats. For example, these are the Western Ghats. Okay, now this is basically, this side we call as a windward side. Windward side का मतलब होता है the side on which the rain bearing winds affect or impact the Western Ghats. The leeward side is something which is opposite to the windward side, so you say the windward side will receive very high amount of rainfall, but the leeward side will receive very insignificant amount of rainfall. Okay, so that is what I said, that the western side of Western Ghats or the windward side of Western Ghats receive very high amount of rainfall, that is almost more than 250 centimeters of the rainfall. Okay, if you see the eastern part of the Western Ghats, that hardly receive 40 centimeters of the rainfall. Okay, now let's understand this rainfall variations in the Western Ghats and the Deccan Plateau. What is the rainfall variations in the Western Ghats and the Deccan Plateau? So here, first of all, you must understand the monsoon engulfs all the country in a single month, right? In a month, right, the monsoon basically covers the whole country. Okay, now this changes the weather conditions or the weather conditions in the Indian landmass. Okay, because of the inflow of the southwestern monsoonal winds on the Indian landmass. Okay, now as I told you that the windward side of the Western Ghats receive the rainfall mainly from the southwestern monsoonal winds. Why the windward side receive the rainfall from the southwestern monsoonal winds? It is because of the orographic rainfall. What is orographic rainfall? Right, whenever the winds basically comes in the contact with the any hill, right, what happens is the hill basically stops these rain bearing winds. And this hill causes these rain bearing winds to move basically to along this hill up, right, and which causes the rain bearing winds to cool down, and this causes the rain bearing winds to basically condense and ultimately causes the rainfall. So ultimately the rainfall which I was explaining you is also known as orographic rainfall. So what is orographic rainfall? Orographic rainfall is that type of rainfall which is mainly caused by the blocking effect of the hills. So here the blocking effect is caused because of the Western Ghats, which basically blocks the the rain bearing winds from moving further, and which basically causes the very high amount of rainfall on the Western Ghats, on the western side of Western Ghats. So that is what the windward side of the Western Ghats receives very heavy rainfall. Okay, if I draw this diagram, you would probably understand it. So this is basically, you see, this is the Western Ghats. Okay, now I'm talking about this side. So this is basically the windward side. Because the the southwestern monsoonal winds coming from the southwestern direction. So this side. So these rain bearing winds basically causes the rainfall on the windward side, Okay. And this is we call the leeward side, and this leeward side is very deficient in terms of rainfall. So it does not, because what happens is when these winds impact this western ghats, the windward side of western ghats, it started moving along this you know the ghats, and it goes up, it cools down, it expand, it condense, and it causes the rainfall on the windward side itself. But when they crosses this one, there is adiabatically heating, right? Heating of this air mass, and moreover, maximum amount of moisture it would have already shedded. The moisture have been already shed. There is very insignificant amount of moisture which is left away. Okay, and that is the reason the leeward side receives very low amount of rainfall, very low amount of rainfall. Okay, so that leeward side area is also known as shadow area, rain shadow area, because it receives very insignificant amount of rainfall. Okay, the basically the area, or the rain shadow area, the Deccan Plateau and the parts of Madhya Pradesh also receive some amount of rainfall despite of having this rain shadow area. Okay, now let's understand areas of the maximum and the least rainfall. So maximum rainfall, as I told you, occurs always in the northeastern part of country. Why the northeastern part of country? Because there is a hills that are called the northeastern hills, and these are the part of your Himalayas. So first of all, you must understand the hills orientation are funnel shaped. So whenever the Bay of Bengal branch of the southwestern monsoon reaches to those hills, right, specifically the Arakan Yoma hills of Myanmar, these hills basically deflect the rain bearing winds towards the Indian landmass. And when these deflected winds reaches to the northeastern part of India, they are forced to rise up because of the orientation of the hills in the northeastern part of India. And that causes the orographic rainfall specifically in the northeastern part of India. And that is the reason why the northeastern India has very high amount of rainfall. So the highest rainfall occurs specifically in the Meghalaya state. Specifically, if you see, previously the place was known as Cherrapunji, but now the place have been replaced, right, to the nearest place which is known as Mawsyn Ram. So Mawsyn Ram is currently the wettest place on the earth. I'm talking on the earth, not only about India, but on the earth. The Mawsyn Ram receives more than 1,000 centimeters of the rainfall every year, which makes this place the wettest place on the earth. All right, and it is located in the southern range of Khasi Hills of Meghalaya. Okay, so in the Meghalaya, you have the Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia. These are the three prominent ranges or three prominent hills that are found: the Garo Hills, the Khasi Hills, and Jaintia Hills. Okay, so the Khasi Hills, where the Mawsyn Ram is located, is the wettest place on the earth. Okay, the least rainfall, it is very quite understood that least rainfall occurs in the western part of Rajasthan में तो पहले पानी नहीं है, तो in the western part of Rajasthan the rainfall is very insignificant. ठीक है, then the northern part of Gujarat is also very insignificant in terms of rainfall, and northern plains generally आप देखेंगे, because if you come from the Bay of Bengal branch, in the last class I was explaining you that if you come from the Bay of Bengal branch, so if you move from West Bengal to Bihar, okay, to say UP, then to Delhi, and further to the Rajasthan, okay, you would have the comparatively lesser amount of rainfall. That means from east to west, the precipitation keep on decreasing. That means the rainfall keep on decreasing as we move from the eastern part of India to the western part of India. It is because the rain bearing winds started shedding their moisture all along the way, and that is the reason the eastern part of India receives a very high amount of rainfall than the western part of India. So that is how the maximum and the minimum rainfall area is also explained. The spatial variation of the rainfall is also explained. Regarding temporal variations, temporal means with the time. Temporal means with the time. So how is the temporal variations? Almost all 85% of the rainfall, because rainfall occurs in the two major instances. First, during the monsoon time from June to September. Okay, in these three and a half months or 4 months, 85% of the rainfall occurs. Then the second time where the rainfall occurs is basically known as the retreating monsoon time. During this retreating monsoon times, during the month of November and December, if you visit to the Chennai जाएंगे तो you will get the rainfall only in the month of November December. कहीं पे भी बारिश नहीं मिलेगी आपको. You will not rainfall anywhere except Tamil Nadu coast. So Tamil Nadu coast में and adjoining Andhra Pradesh coast में you will have the rainfall during November and December. Only during November December, right? And remaining part will receive the rainfall during the month of June, July, August, September. But Chennai coast and adjoining Andhra Pradesh coast will receive the rainfall during November and December. That point of the time, there is a retreating monsoon. The monsoonal winds basically retreat from the Indian landmass. All right. Let's understand about the features of the advancing monsoon. What are the features of the advancing monsoon? So monsoon will have the alternative wet and the dry spells. What is wet spell? So it is because of certain changes in the atmospheric conditions. Okay, you have the monsoonal trough or the low pressure zone. It is also affected because of the jet streams. It is also affected because of the pressure conditions, temperature conditions. Right? It is also affected other factors. So there will be a wet season, there will be a wet spell, and in between you may have the dry spells also, right? And in between the time between the wet spell and the dry spell, you will have the breaks of the rainfall, right? That is basically denote in the form of the breaks in the rainfall. Okay, the breaks in the rainfall is related to the movement of monsoonal trough. So monsoonal trough is basically an elongated low pressure. It is also explained in the form of intertropical convergence zone. So under the intertropical convergence zone, you have seen that the trade winds basically meets or they merge, right? And it causes the rainfall, right, to all along the movement of the monsoonal trough. So the monsoonal trough would basically affects the rainfall spatially. Okay, so the monsoonal winds also follow the path traversed by the monsoonal trough also. Okay, now the axis of the monsoonal trough in the northern plains. So whenever the axis of the monsoonal trough is northern plains, or in the simple language you can say that whenever the monsoonal trough is located on the northern plains, there will be very high amount of rainfall. So wherever the monsoonal trough moves, there will be very high amount of rainfall. Okay, and if there is monsoonal trough is located all along the foothills of the Himalaya, very high amount of rainfall will be there in the foothills of the Himalaya, right? And there will be a break of the rainfall in the planar areas of Indian landmass. Okay, and the monsoon rains takes place only for the few days at a time, and then there will be some sort of a rainless intervals also will be there, where you will have the breaks in the rainfall, where the rainfall do not occur during that period of the time. Okay, the monsoonal trough, it is a basically trough, or it is a axis, okay, that keep on moving from northward direction or the southward in the southward direction. Okay, that movement of that monsoonal trough affects the spatial distribution of the rainfall. That is what I was explaining you in my previous slide, that the movement of the trough explains the spatial distribution of the rainfall, and that monsoonal trough also explain the breaks in the Indian monsoon also. Okay, now whenever this axis of the trough lies nearby the plains, okay, the region will get very high amount of rainfall. So in very simple layman terms, you can understand the monsoonal trough is proportional to the rainfall at that place. Wherever the monsoonal trough will be there the region will get very high amount of rainfall, because trough means the low pressure zone, and obviously wherever you have the low pressure zone, the rain bearing winds reaches over there and causes the rainfall over that region. Okay, the movement of this monsoonal trough to the northward direction, say to the Himalayan region, right, gets the widespread rain basically in the Himalayan region, right? And sometime what happens is in the planar area also you might have seen that sometime flood occurs, right? All of a sudden flooding aa jati hai, matlab especially in those areas where the flooding is not known, right? It is because of this monsoonal trough. So what happens is the movement of this monsoonal trough affects the spatial distribution of the rainfall on the Indian landmass. Okay. Then the tropical depression. What is tropical depressions? They are basically a low pressure systems. They are basically called the low pressure system. Now, what is this tropical depression is all about? Right? It is a phenomena which also affects the distribution of the monsoonal winds. Okay. Now, the depressions are the low pressure system. Okay. The tropical depressions are the low pressure system, right? But they are not to the tune of tropical cyclones. Okay, they are not to the tune of tropical cyclones, but they are definitely the low pressure systems which affects the frequency and the intensity of the rainfall, the frequency and the intensity of the rainfall. Okay, now these tropical depressions basically occur right all along the Bay of Bengal, and which affects the frequency and the intensity of the rainfall, especially in the coastal regions, So it is not a thumb rule that the rainfall or the southwestern winds will decide the amount of rainfall. No, the tropical depressions, the monsoonal trough will also affect the rainfall, specifically in the coastal regions. Okay. The depressions follow the axis of the monsoonal trough of the low pressure. Okay. So these depressions, which are basically the rain bearing winds, low pressure system, generally follow this monsoonal trough. Monsoonal trough is basically followed by the winds also. They are followed by, you know, the tropical cyclones. They are followed by the depressions also. Okay. Let's understand about retreating monsoon season or the post monsoon season. ठीक है, अब आप समझिए सबसे पहले कि आपका monsoon session got over. So monsoon session runs from the 1st of June, okay, the 1st of June, okay, to the mid September, ठीक है. So जून से लेकर mid September तक you will have the monsoonal season. Rainfall आपकी complete हो गई. मतलब that rainfall completion का मतलब simple है कि the rain bearing winds engulf all Indian landmass of Indian subcontinent. That means the southwestern monsoonal winds have covered completely the Indian subcontinent. That is basically shown with the help of the monsoonal season, and that the time taken by the southwestern winds to cover the whole landmass is around 4 months. Now what will happen after mid September? These rain bearing winds basically started retreating का मतलब होता है very simple, that they started moving away, right? They started moving back. जैसे आई थी ना उसी तरह से they started reversing back. So how they reverse back, I will show you in my diagram in the next couple of slides. Please be maintained. Okay. So what happens is the winds basically comes through the southwestern winds, right? They are known as southwestern winds. Now the retreating time, they are known as northeastern winds. So they are started retreating as a northeastern winds. So they completely reverse their direction. For example, if you draw the figure, you can find out this is eastern direction, this is western direction, this is northern direction, and this is southern direction. Okay. Now east, west, north, south. Okay. Now this direction we call the northeastern direction. This direction we call the southwest direction. This direction we call the southeast direction, and this direction we call the northwest direction. Okay, so you will have the northeast, northwest, southwest, and southeast direction. So I was talking about these northeast direction. So wind started coming from the northeast direction, and that is basically most important characteristic feature of the retreating monsoonal time. Okay. Now, why this retreat of the monsoonal winds occur? That is the most fundamental question coming to your mind. Why this retreating occur? The retreating occur because of the apparent movement of the sun. Okay. Sun क्या करता है? The sun started moving from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn, Okay. Now with that movement, the heat belts also started shifting away from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, isn't it? So that is the reason during winter time the sun is concentrated at Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of sorry, during the winter time, the sun is concentrated as the Tropic of Capricorn, and during summer time, the sun is mainly concentrated in the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere. जैसे मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूं. Now in the month of June, you will have summer. जून के मंथ में आपके पास गर्मी रहती है. कहां पे? नॉर्थर्न हेमिस्फीयर में. इंडिया कहां पे लोकेटेड है? नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर. If you go to Australia, you will have the winter in the month of June. अगर मैं इसी बात को इस तरह से बोलूं आपको कि ड्यूरिंग द मंथ ऑफ दिसंबर व्हेन यू हैव द क्रिसमस, सो इंडिया में क्रिसमस कब आता है? विंटर टाइम में. 25th को आता है क्रिसमस, 25th ऑफ दिसंबर एवरी ईयर. वी यूज्ड टू सेलिब्रेट द क्रिसमस ऑन द 25th ऑफ दिसंबर नॉर्मली. तो 25th ऑफ दिसंबर को हमारे पास क्या होता है? विंटर होता है. बट वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में सेलिब्रेट होता है समर टाइम में. मतलब इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया द 25th ऑफ दिसंबर इज द समर टाइम. मतलब दिसंबर टाइम इन द ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज समर. तो दिसंबर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में क्या होता है? समर का टाइम होता है. एंड दिसंबर इन इंडिया इज ए विंटर टाइम. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग, दैट द सन स्टार्टेड शिफ्टिंग टुवर्ड्स द ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैप्रिकॉर्न, right, during this retreating season of the time. And retreating season में क्या होता है? sun, where the sun is concentrated, the sun is located at the tropic of Capricorn. तो sun की जो rays हैं, they reaches not directly but very slanting, and these rays do not raise the temperature in the northern hemisphere, and that is the reason northern hemisphere will have the winter during the October, November and December, and the southern hemisphere will have the summer during November, December, January and February. Okay, so this is what you must understand. Okay, so I have explained you everything. This followed the southwestern monsoonal winds, right? By the beginning of October, the monsoon withdraws from all of the northern plains. Okay, so this withdrawal occur. I will explain you through this figure, then you will be probably able to understand the withdrawal of these monsoonal winds that occur right from the Indian landmass during this retreating season. Okay, now let's understand first the features of this retreating monsoon. What are the features of this retreating monsoon? So the features of this retreating monsoon you must understand first of all during retreating month. जैसे मानसून टाइम में क्या होता है आपके पास? सिंपल समझिए, मानसून टाइम में आपके पास क्लाउडी वेदर होता है. You will have all clouds, you will have rainfall. Okay, you will have the very, the temperature also decreases because of the rainfall, isn't it? इसका उल्टा होता है retreating time में. retreating time में क्या होगा? clear sky होगा. That means there will not be any clouds, or the clouds will be there but that is scattered, that is very insignificant. Okay, so clouds are not very high, isn't it? And rainfall के time पे क्या होता है? temperature drops down, but here the temperature again started rising, so there will be a rising in the temperature. Okay, next, the day temperature remains high but the night temperature are cools and the pleasant. So during the retreating time the day temperature remains high because there is no cloud, and whatever the clouds are there, they are very scattered. Okay, there is no rain as such, except the Coromandel coast. Okay, and the night generally is very cool and the pleasant. Because why the night is cool? Because whatever the radiation that is in the form of terrestrial radiation, they directly move away from from the land to the basically to the atmosphere, and since there is no cloud, so there is less absorption of that radiation, and moreover the temperature also started declining after some time. Okay, so due to the temperature, the temperature remains very high. The humidity not reducing. Why the humidity not reducing? You understand? Because just now the monsoon has gone, so the soil will have the absorption of the moisture, the atmosphere will have the moisture. So high heat and high moisture, what will cause? Humidity, isn't it? So that is what the humidity occurs. So humidity will also very high. Sticky type of situation will be there. चिपचिपापन आ जाता है ना? Your coolers also never work during that point of the time. So after monsoon, if you just switch on the cooler also don't work, because very high humidity, temperature also remains high, so relative humidity also remains very high, isn't it? So the heat become very oppressive. यही चीज होती है आपकी coastal areas में. कोस्टल एरियाज में पूरा साल भर यही आपको मिलेगा, स्टिकी स्टिकी मिलेगा, चिपचिपापन मिलेगा। क्यों? क्योंकि टेम्परेचर ऑल्सो कंपेरेटिवली 25 to 30 डिग्री सेल्सियस, इट इज ऑन द हायर साइड। ह्यूमिडिटी भी बहुत ज्यादा मिलेगी आपको, मतलब आपको मॉइस्चर भी बहुत ज्यादा मिलेगा, मतलब यू विल हैव हाई ह्यूमिडिटी, हाई मॉइस्चर कंटेंट, and apart from that high temperature that causes very high relative humidity, very high relative humidity, but वो relative humidity northern India में नहीं मिलती है आपके पास। So that is basically only during the month of October, so that is in the form of October heat. So sometime that month of the October is also known as October heat because of this high heat which is oppressive in the nature, and because of the high humidity, high temperature causes the condition very oppressive in the nature, and that is the reason it is also known as the October heat. Then the cyclonic depressions and the tropical cyclone. What is cyclonic depressions? You must understand. So first of all, the depressions are basically low pressure system, first of all, but that is not to that level to the tropical cyclone. What is tropical cyclone? The tropical cyclones are also low pressure systems, but they are very devastating in the nature. They are very devastating in the nature. आपने सुना होगा cyclones. The cyclones used to come from the Bay of Bengal, and that affect the coastal area of Orissa, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka specifically, isn't it? That affect the coastal areas. So what happens is by early November, the cyclonic depressions originate over Andaman Sea, which is located in the nearby Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These tropical depressions basically, what happens, causes the very high amount of rainfall, very high amount of winds also, right? And it basically generate also the tropical cyclones, specifically the regions of the coastline of the Bangladesh to the Tamil Nadu. Okay, so all along this low pressure system is generated, and this causes basically the generation of the tropical cyclones, specifically in the Bay of Bengal region. So the cyclones are mainly occurred in the eastern coast of India, right? All along the eastern coast of India, and these cyclones causes very high amount of rainfall. Okay, that high amount of rainfall is basically causes so much devastation in the specific eastern coast of India. There is huge loss of the men and the materials in the basically in the coastal regions of India, specifically the eastern coastal region, all right. Now these cyclones basically arrive Orissa, West Bengal, and the Bangladesh region. Okay, now the cyclone frequently strikes at the deltas of Godavari. Godavari is a basically river which flows through the peninsular India. Then you have the Krishna, which also flows through the peninsular India, and the Kaveri. These are the principal rivers which used to flow through the peninsula. Okay, so this sometimes the cyclones also reaches up to there. Okay, and regarding Coromandel coast, I have already explained you that the Coromandel coast receives the rainfall from the retreating monsoon. Okay, so retreating monsoon is the phenomena from mid-September to December, right? The monsoonal winds basically retreat, and in that process the monsoonal winds pick the moisture from the Bay of Bengal and causes the rainfall to the Coromandel coast. Coromandel coast का मतलब होता है the coastal area of Tamil Nadu and adjoining coastal area of Andhra Pradesh. Let's see this diagram. So I was talking about this diagram. Through that diagram you will better understand. Okay, so this is the India's map. Okay, if it is visible to you. Okay, so here you see I was talking about southwestern monsoon. So what happens is this southwestern monsoon, this is the retreating monsoonal time. Retreating का मतलब होता है the winds started retreating. So कहां से retreat करना start करेंगे? देखिए सबसे पहले retreat होती है basically आपकी इस वाले portion से, ठीक है, the northwestern part of India. So the 1st September the retreating occurs almost from the Thar deserts. Okay, then retreating started from the 15th of the September from almost the part of Rajasthan, Gujarat, right, region. Then further in the 1st of October you will have the retreat from almost from the UP, then Bhopal, then Mumbai and these areas. Then in the 15th of October you will have the retreat from almost Hyderabad and this region. Then on the 15th November you will have the retreat from the Bengaluru and this region, and in the 1st of December you will have the retreat from almost all part of Indian landmass. Now what happens is during this retreat During this retreat, the rain bearing winds basically retreat from the Indian landmass. Okay, so that is the reason they are basically the rainless. They are rainless because they originate from the Indian landmass, and Indian landmass do not have the moisture. Moisture nahi hota hai. When the Indian landmass do not have moisture, what will happen is they do not cause the rainfall. But there are few winds, or the few northeastern winds, which basically flows from the northeastern India, and they basically move down to the Bay of Bengal and pick the moisture. तो यहाँ Bay of Bengal में जब वो आ जाती हैं, then they are dry. Okay, they pick the moisture को pick करती हैं and causes the rainfall all along the Coromandel coast. ये आपका Coromandel coast है. Coromandel coast का मतलब हो गया the coastal area of Tamil Nadu and adjoining coastal area of Andhra Pradesh. So this is we call the Coromandel coast. So only during the retreating monsoon, the Coromandel coast will receive the rainfall. Only during the retreating monsoon. Otherwise, all other places receive the rainfall from the southwestern monsoonal region. This is what the seasonal distribution of the rainfall. This is the second diagram that you must understand, the seasonal distribution of the rainfall. I told you that 85% of the rainfall occur in just 4 months, from June to September. In the 4 months, 85% of the rainfall occurs. So here you see that the high amount of rainfall, this is, the blackish. This is the blackish. So you see this blackish region is western side of Western Ghats. Then you see the some portion of your northeastern part of India also. Then the 200 to 400 centimeters of the rainfall, you see this cross. Okay, so it is mainly found in this region. So you will have the northeastern part again. Okay, this region is mainly also found in the Western Ghats, in the western side of Western Ghats. Okay, then 100 to 200 centimeters of the rainfall, this is mainly found basically in some portion of Delhi, then move to Uttar Pradesh and up to basically the region adjoining to the Bihar also. Okay, then you will have the 40 to 60 centimeters of the rainfall, that is mainly occurs or adjoining areas of the Gujarat and nearby areas of Gujarat. Okay, then you have the 20 to 40 centimeters of the rainfall, which is basically mainly occurs in the Gujarat, Rajasthan belt, and the some portion of the western part of Rajasthan. Then 0 to 20 centimeters of the rainfall, it is mainly occurs specifically in the Jammu and Kashmir, the Leh Ladakh region. Okay, and then the Thar desert or the northwestern part of deserts, right, as well as some of the interior locations of Deccan Plateau or the interior locations of the peninsular plateau. You see, this is also the region where the 0 to 20 centimeters of the rainfall occurs, and they are basically some of the places which are also the rain shadow region. They are also called rain shadow region. Why the rain shadow region? Because they are basically falling to the opposite direction of the rain bearing winds, and that is why they are also known as the rain shadow region. Okay, and that is the reason they receive very low amount of rainfall. All right, so let's end our class today itself at that place, and we will cover up the remaining slides in our next class. Okay, so we'll continue with the next class with the remaining slides as well as some of the new slides. Okay, so thank you very much for attending this class. We will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.